Hey guys, my name is Ryan.
And my name is Miska.
And welcome to Overwatch Central. So, a good amount of you enjoyed the speculation and lore surrounding Lucio and a potential animated shot. So I figured we'd return and type a couple of interesting points surrounding Talon. Back at the game's reveal, we were introduced to Reaper and Widowmaker as Talon agents, but really they were kind of like Team Rocket. But as time went on and we got introduced to more lore, we got a glimpse of the dark abyss that is the massive reach Talon has over the world of Overwatch. Curse from Low Mana joins us again to add some intermediate lore at the end of this video, but first we want to go over Talon's previous missions and try and work out what their goal is.
Before we dissect and take apart Talon's actions, we first need to jot down everything that we've seen from the organization and what we know overall. For shorts, we of course have the reveal trailer with the attempted theft of the Doomfist gauntlet. We also have Recall, where Reaper tries to steal Overwatch agents' information, as well as the Mondata assassination of Alive. Most recently we had the infiltration short, which introduces Sombra into the cast as well, whilst the crew attempts another assassination. Going over comics as well, McCree is journeying on a hyper train when it's ransacked by Talon agents. Not only that, but we've seen a little of Ana's lore, both past and present, and we know the ties of Widowmaker and Reaper to Overwatch, but other than that we know very little about the organization apart from them being a typical bad guy group. We really wanted to look more deeply into what Talon may be up to, as we definitely feel like there's some underlying goal here that's not been presented quite yet, and I don't think it's as straightforward as trying to take over the world or just killing the Overwatch agents or whatever, but we definitely have some pretty interesting theories.
I remember watching Recall when it came out and I noticed something pretty interesting. In the animated shot, Athena, Overwatch's AI, gets compromised by Reaper. There is a little section in it when you're not sure if he's succeeded in taking down Winston's computer compadre or not, but she boots up right as rain. Now let's actually make the assumption that Athena was compromised. It just wasn't immediately obvious. Talon now have their claws sunk into the strongest AI in the world, and what's the first thing that shows up on her screen? I mean, what better way to find out the details of the agents than setting off the agent recall? We see all of this information come up, and it's right in Talon's hands. Reaper also wanted to push Winston into recalling the agents. Not only does it put Winston and co in legal jeopardy with the Petrus Act deeming it illegal, but it also makes Talon's job a lot easier. We saw McCree take the fall for Talon's antics on the hypertrain in the comic, so it's perfect. Talon could get away with more and pin it on the illegal actions of renegade Overwatch agents.
Maybe that's all the mission was, to compromise Winston and to lead him into this false sense of security. It pushes Winston to the point of no return with recalling the agents, and with that finding and compiling all the information at the same time. If Reaper really wanted to steal the whereabouts of Overwatch agents, it seems likely that he would be able to do it by himself, using his stealth expertise, instead of making a song and dance about it by bringing a mob with him. The first thing that pops up on potentially compromised Athena is the recall option. It's there right in front of him. He's been antagonized to the point where he feels that this is his only option. His actions have basically played right into Talon's hands. Now this is incredibly tinfoily, to the point where I don't want to go into too much detail about it, but I too find it incredibly interesting that within hours, Talon come into contact with Tracer. Let's say that now Athena is compromised with Talon listening into the comms, and they may have heard that Tracer was going to go and attend the Mondata speech at King's Row. Maybe the stunt to kill Mondata wasn't just about causing Omnic and human tension to rise once more, but to incentivize Tracer into doing something about it. Talon could be manipulating and pulling the puppet strings here on these heroes in particular, so maybe their focus isn't necessarily on their actions in these shorts, but more the long-term cause of these actions, specifically manipulating Overwatch itself.
A name that I'm now notorious for connecting with Talon is Doomfist, and now I've gone over this in a few videos in the past and highlighted it there, so I don't really want to go into too much detail here. But with Talon as a whole, you're made to feel that there's something more important that hasn't been explained or addressed. And I've said in the past that Adeyemi, the evil Doomfist, might be involved in Talon and may be the big bad of Overwatch, and the one that's orchestrated all of these attacks. We know that Reaper's this high-ranked officer for Talon, and Widowmaker is their secret weapon. However, we know very little about who is in charge. This organisation dates back to the old Overwatch and maybe even beforehand. But the reason why I'd like to connect Adeyemi to Talon is because he's a character that we've already been introduced to briefly. We know that he's a bad guy and he's literally involved in the first thing we see in regards to Overwatch in that reveal trailer. We know know that he's an enemy to Winston and Overwatch with the brief story coverage that the little guy gave in the trailer, and it just feels kinda good to connect the two. It isn't too much of a stretch to connect the dots here, but it's also not incredibly obvious. But to finish on this video, we've got resident lore expert Curse from Nirvana to talk about what he thinks about Talon's plans and what to expect.
From the outside, it is difficult to see many patterns in the actions of Talon that we've been privy to. From the seeming desire to steal technology in Trainhopper and Legacy, through to the assassination or attempted assassination of high-profile targets in Alive and Infiltration, the only common aspects have come from the illegality of their actions and the seemingly ridiculous amount of funding and resource at their disposal. The other link is, of course, that each and every mission, with the possible exception of Infiltration, has drawn the attention of former Overwatch agents. If Ryan and Miska's theory about Talon wanting Overwatch back is correct, and all of their actions have certainly moved the world a step closer to it reforming, what would they gain out of it? In the Golden Age, Overwatch and Talon were in conflict, to the point Overwatch had a department entirely devoted to taking down the terrorist group. Spearheaded by Gerard Lacroix, we know little about the nature of these ops, but given Gerard's fate, and the fact Talon is still very much active, we can assume they were not hugely successful. There are perhaps two main reasons I can think of that Talon would benefit from their return. Overwatch were not only international peacekeepers, but under Jack Morrison they were great pioneers of science and exploration, and as we know, almost certainly worked on weapons and other secret tech along the way. Talon are nothing if not adept at infiltration and extraction, so it's likely they benefited from this research almost as much as Overwatch themselves. The other leads, as it always seems to the conspiracy revealed by Sombra last year. Talon may have links to Doomfist and by extension Numbani, but they are far more closely intertwined with Overwatch. With the theory that Blackwatch was used as a recruiting platform for Talon still gaining traction, is this something they would look to revive? Or is there perhaps something else pulling Talon's strings from behind the scenes that wishes to see Overwatch's return?
And that's it for this time. Thank you very much for watching. Do let us know what you think Talon's major plans are in the comments below. And if you'd like more lore videos like this, then do let us know in the comments again and like this video. Until next time, take care. We'll see you then.